I'll say this, right? I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody. But it's like I've been seeing so many people asking Asian creators to speak up about the whole uh riots in LA and all these deportation things. And this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Asian people, we support the country. We support the betterment of the country. We support that. So what is there to say? What is there to say? We support the deportations of illegals. It is honestly tiring because here's the thing: we want the country to be better. We want the country to be better. We want the country to if you did it legally, if you stand in line, if you paid the price, right? You paid the money and all that. You did all the process, the paperwork, all the stuff, which usually most Asian people do. Why would we care about someone jumping in line, crossing the border, and all this stuff? Why should we, you know, be happy about that? We're not really. This is the thing where we're not really dependent. Asian people aren't really dependent on uh you know migrant labor, right? Not like other people. We're not really dependent on migrant labor. So we're not gonna cry that the U.S. is pretty much backing what they promised. The U.S. promised, or this presidency promised, that they would deport illegal immigrants. They're doing.
People are pissed at this guy. If you go into their comments, and of course, I'm always going to support content creators by giving them credit. If you go into their comments, you'll see that they're basically calling him, or they're calling the Asian community, which Asian community is not a monolith. There's different types of Asians. You got the Japanese, you got the Chinese, you got Vietnamese. You got so many different Asian types, right? It breaks down, but that goes without saying. But they're basically saying the Asian community is the most pick me of all of the different types of minorities that make up the people that could or couldn't be impacted by illegal migrants coming into this country because they are not making a big fuss about it. Personally, and maybe y'all timeline might be a little bit different, people have not been sending me videos of any Asian creators. I have not seen any in recent memory that I can think of right off the top of my head, but people have not been sending me any content from Asian creators that are basically saying, oh man, we got to protest, we got to go out there. Maybe they are smarter than everybody else because even if they disagree with it, they not openly saying it, and they certainly not out in the streets getting themselves or crashing out over the fact that people that are here illegally shouldn't be here. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that are finessing in the Asian community. I mean, there's a ton of people that are finessing all day long. So I'm not speaking to the innocence or the guilt of it. What I am saying is if you are a person that is over here illegally, or you are a person that is doing something that you're not supposed to do, let's just remove the immigration part out of it. Why would you want to bring visibility, more visibility to yourself, instead of trying to figure out how you can get around a situation or work through it or get your papers or get in line? Maybe we didn't do this the right way. Maybe we haven't been taking care of business up to this point, whatever, so on and so forth. Why wouldn't you want to try to figure out how to put yourself in the best position possible or not have as much visibility on yourself? I just did a video, or I did a live stream yesterday, or maybe it was the day before yesterday. Either way, I did a live stream yesterday on the Millionaire Morning Show where one of the stories that I talked about was the fact that, in one particular community, they had raided a nail salon where they basically had arrested a bunch, like 12 people that was over here illegally. You didn't hear a peep. You didn't hear a peep. The only people that were speaking on it, especially on camera, were white people, white apologists, and black people that were in the comments of the video. Other than that, the super liberals. Other than that, you don't hear, and maybe I'm off, and y'all let me know inside of the chat, you don't hear people in the Asian community be super vocal about what we see happening as far as the deportation of illegal or undocumented immigrants that are over here and overstayed their welcome. You don't hear it at all. And I know that they finesse. I know that there's a culture um, of Asian people that fly over here and hide their pregnancy and have their child over here in order to have dual citizenship for that child in particular. So I know that there are different things that's happening, and again, I think there's good and bad in every single community. But the one thing that you see in mass, you don't see no protests, you don't see no signs, you don't see none of that. Are they getting arrested and stuff? I've seen different stories of them getting arrested and stuff, but you just don't see it. It's not something that's being reported, or it's not something that they bring in visibility to themselves, no matter what, nationality that you are in the Asian community.
That. Why are you crying? Why are you crying about it? This is the thing where,
I'm gonna need you
you
to
see
cover
it
your
like
mouth, big
these
dog.
immigrants are waving the flags of other countries, burning down the flag of the U.S., and then you think Asian people want to support that? No, they want to stay away from that. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. That's the thing. Asian people want to, focus on themselves and their community and their country. They don't want to be grouped in with these people. So really, stop asking Asian influencers to speak up about it because you won't like what they say. You won't like what they say. So really, it's better off that they do the content that they're doing instead of, say things you don't like. Because here's the thing: Asian people don't want to focus on the negativity and you know say what they're really thinking. Deport, right? Deport illegal immigrants.
It's the first person I think that I've reviewed that you guys have sent me from the Asian community as far as, and I'm not saying that he speaks for everybody, but I am saying that I think that he has a valid point. Listen, maybe they are some of the most wise people. Maybe they are the smartest. They are the wisest. When you see, you've largely seen conversations about the trade war with China die down. You haven't really heard anything about tariffs when it comes to the Japanese people. You haven't seen anything with regard to Taiwan and all of that type of stuff. And so when you start to think about it and you say, okay, well, what is the community that is the most populated on this earth, but is the least visibility for themselves as far as the things that they are impacted by inside of the United States of America with regard to immigration, you have to point to the Asian community at large. They stay the fuck out the way. They don't get themselves involved in all of this rigmarole and all of this nonsense and this protesting and rioting and all of this stuff. And so, at the same time, if you look at the people that have the highest household income inside of the United States of America, it is Asian and Indian communities. And I guess you can throw the Indian community in there also because you don't see anything from them at all. They stay doing their thing. They stay out the way. They stay focused on their job. They stay focused on the money. And then they move accordingly. They see how things are moving. They see how things are playing out inside of the United States of America. And they adjust accordingly. So it is an interesting conversation that I think that of all of the videos that I could have done a review video at this moment for, I think that this is something that we need to discuss. And I will add this if I have time on the Millionaire Morning Show in the morning, because I think that this is worth the conversation also. But I always like to give credit to the content creators, so that link will be down in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off of life. And what do you guys think about this whole thing? Do you think that the Asian community has largely been flying under the radar? And the type of hate that this guy is getting, do you think that is valid or do you think that it's invalid? I think that it's invalid, and I think that I'm happy that I get to hear finally from somebody from the Asian community about how they feel about this whole immigration situation, because they have largely remained silent. And so it's interesting to see how some of them feel and the fact that they actually support and they cool with the deportation of illegal migrants inside of the country, meaning that they support the foundation of what we stand for. And if you are not supportive or if you are not a person that contributes into society, then that's something that you're not tripping about. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.